All right, y'all. Welcome back to another Boss Talk episode with yours truly, your business bestie, Deanna Diaz, entrepreneur and business coach. And today I am so blessed to have none other than Miss, say your name.
Aijalon Brown.
Yes. Her name was so beautiful that I had to let her say it, is what I'm saying. So I got a chance to meet this lovely young lady at a women's, what was it?
I
Tell
think
me
woman.
again.
I know it was like hosted by Ladies Link Up, but I would say it's like a
There you go.
woman for bending event. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I've been to so many events, child, and as you have too, they kind of all run together, but you never forget when you meet great people such as yourself. So now what attracted me to Miss Brown was she had butterfly stuff on her table. And for those who know me, they know that I love my butterfly. So I'm gonna let her take the stage and tell you all a little bit about her and what she does, and then you'll get an idea of why I invited this beautiful soul onto my Boss Talk segment. Take it away, Miss Brown.
Yes, thank you so much, Deanna. So the social butterfly experience was born back in 2020. Now, just to backtrack, before 2020 even started, I knew I wanted to start my own business. I knew it had to be mental health and wellness related because I'm a big mental health advocate. So I know along with me starting my business, I got a lot of questions like within the time frame. Like, did you start it because of the pandemic? No, I didn't. It was already being planned pandemic. I think, just the effects of the pandemic has helped the business because mental health is so important. And when I
Mm,
started the brand, it was originally just like, just mental health blogs. I have my mental health clothing line as well. But, as an entrepreneur, you're always looking to grow and try new things. So I think
sure.
4 months into starting, I started making handmade candles. And then later on down the line, I thought about like services I can add to the business. Like, because I like to be of service to other people. Like, what can I do to help people? And I came across health and wellness coaching. And I was like, this is perfect. I've always been
Yeah.
one. Um, I don't know, I think it kind of comes natural. So, we just turned 2 back in
Mm-hmm.
September. I would say we're one of the favorite businesses in Pittsburgh in terms of like mental health and well being. Like anytime someone like meets our business, they're like, "This is so great." So
I know that's right. And you know what? I feel like so many people needed you during the pandemic because that was a tough time for a lot of people, and people who thought that they were tough enough to deal with it, they ended up not being all the way okay. And it is okay to not be okay sometimes. But I feel like you, even though you had planned it pre-pandemic, you definitely came out right on time. Right on time. And by the way, her candles smell amazing. I remember. So,
thank you.
but so make sure you check out some homegirls candles is what I'm saying. So, yeah, I mean, and I just think that's great. So, what made you? You said you've been an advocate for mental health. What really made you? What steered you in that direction? What about your background pushed you that way? Can you answer that for me?
Yeah, so just backtracking a little bit. I would say when I was in high school, I think I was a sophomore. I was just not feeling like me. And I was like, Mom, I want to go talk to a therapist. Like, especially me being a Black woman, mental health just wasn't talked about in my house much. My mom never, like, pushed me to the side when it came to like my feelings, but I just didn't feel comfortable in talking to her about like, the things I was going through as a teenager. And at first she's like, why do you want to talk to a therapist? I'm like, I don't want to talk to you about it. Like, I need professional help. Problems I'm going through. So I got into therapy, I would say at a young age. I've always knew the importance of trying to take care of yourself. So I sought that help pretty early. And then me trying to just like always grow within like the new year. It was 2019. I'm like, oh, we're going to 2020. Like, what do I want to see change about myself and do? So I actually had another business before the social butterfly experience, my beauty brand BCB Beauty. I got into makeup when I was a teenager, so I knew how to be my face since I was 15, 16 year old. And I had
Okay.
makeup. Yep, girl. I had
Mhm.
makeup clients so lashes, lash gun, all that. And while that was fulfilling, I felt like it wasn't my full passion, like how mental health.
Mm,
So it simply just came down to like, all right, like you starting a business, what do you want this business to look like? And how do you want to go deep into it? Like even growing up, when friends had problems going on, I was always the person who people came to for advice or just to like, vent, whatever. Like I don't know, I think it's just like my kind spirit. People naturally feel attracted to me.
mm,
But I put it like in like my notes app. And it's funny because I didn't even have the word the social name, the social butterfly experience. It originally was the social butterfly. But as an entrepreneur, you learn and you grow. The social butterfly was actually taken. So I was like, well, what word can I use to like make it different? So experience just popped up. I'm like, because we are the social butterfly experience. When you come interact with us,
yeah.
great experience. Um, so yeah, it just kind of came down to like, all right, how can I make this business like, unique? And I felt like you may see stuff on Amazon or Google, like, mental health clothing, but for it to be like unique, 9 times out of 10, it's like, it comes from like a factory or whatever. So I'm like, I want to advocate and put this message out there, like, mental health's important. It's okay to talk about it. And then even like
Mhm.
through my blog, like, just trying to get people more aware of like, you have to take care of yourself for your future self, I always say. Um, you only get one life. You gotta just live it the best.
Mhm.
um Life is hard, but I think just the importance of knowing how to navigate life even when you face like those trials and tribulations.
Right.
So yeah, that's how the social butterfly experience kind of started. Just like I knew people needed this. I'm like, who's going to shy away from mental health? People may not feel comfortable talking about it, but I'm like, I think even just starting it was needed.
For sure. For sure. For sure. Now, it's interesting that you, as a teenager in high school, you knew automatically that something wasn't right and that you had to go seek a professional. For somebody who isn't as aware as you, what do you think the signs are? Well, not what do you think? What are some of the signs that somebody can tell or use to recognize when they're not right upstairs or emotionally to go seek professional help?
Yeah, a big one would be isolation, I would say. I would say I'm an introvert regardless, but isolating myself from friends and family, it's not something I do often. So I know it's like, all right, I was kind of being a little more distant. Just negative thoughts. I wouldn't say I was suicidal back at that time. But there were thoughts of me like not wanting to be here. And then especially at that time I was 15 about and the issues that we're going through were just me with a sexuality, trying to explore that. And I just felt like if I couldn't talk to my mom about it, then who can I talk to about it? Like, you do have friends, but I'm like, if I can't even express to them what's going on, then like, where do you turn? So I felt like I always say like hitting rock bottom, like in your mind, like, all right, like, it can't get like worse than this. So where do we turn?
Right. Okay. No, that's really a good one. Isolation is a big thing. Some people think that it's normal to isolate, and sometimes you do have to take yourself away from a bunch of people at times because that's a lot of different energy that you deal with. But something on a constant is definitely something to look out for, as a sign. So that's good. Now, what made you not want to talk to your mom? Because I know that probably made her be like, "Oh, my baby don't want to talk to me." So why, why not your mom? Why not your mom?
I feel like because again, the problem was me dealing with like my sexuality. I thought at the time, like looking back now, I thought I was gay. I'm not gay today, and I love gay people, so it's not Asian.
Okay.
But teenage me was like, I'm having like issues like with girls, and my mom, she's always told me like from the day I was born, like baby, if you grow up gay, I love you no matter what. I just felt like I wanted more so, I guess, advice and professional help in regards to that. Then it's kind of hearing like, girl, you go through like heartbreaks, there will be plenty more type of advice. I'm like, no, like I want to get out of this like negative thought pattern when it comes to like me in the situation.
Tracking, absolutely. So now, do you feel just you're just like me? You grew up in like the social media age or whatever. Now, do you feel like social media plays like a big part in um what alters people's minds to think the something should be a certain way and they should be a certain way? Do you think that those high expectations of themselves and the disappointment that follows, do you feel like that plays a part in mental health?
Absolutely. And I even have like, a blog on about like, the negative and positive effects of social media. But just in regards to like, that question, for me to be 23, I'm definitely like in the middle of like the social media like upbringing. But
Mhm.
I feel like an average 23-year-old, depending on like, what route you go, either say, let's say route A, this person either went to like, a 4-year university, they probably graduated like about 21, 22. About 23, I would assume someone's just starting off like, the full-time job, whatnot. Route B,
Mhm.
they didn't go to college, just sort of straight working like out of high school, whatever. But I think social media nowadays, everyone's so called rich or people want to live this luxury lifestyle. And if they're like
Right.
not in like that, like I guess predicament, people like want to like kill themselves or they're so harsh on themselves for not reaching these levels. And I think I just saw a
Mm.
post of the day that said like, social media is just it's bad for us because people like me are 23 years old compare themselves to people who are 33 years old, 10 years older than you. They have more experience in life than we ever have. And I
Some
feel
of
like
them, some of them, girl, some of them. Don't believe the hype, is what I'm saying. Don't believe the hype.
that truth, but I think, yeah, it's just like, these false narratives I say on social media, because even if it's posted on social media, it doesn't mean it's perfect, doesn't mean it's great. You don't know what people do to get like, these luxury lifestyles, handbags, whatever. That's
Girl, oh
I know.
no.
Yes, like we'll see these like best like realities though on social media. They're like, well, I'm not there, so like they beat themselves up over it. And
Mm.
even before social media, like growing up, I've always been one to like understand you have to run your own race. As long as you
Mm.
know you're putting time in to achieve the goals that you want to achieve, doing what's best for you, you're always going to win. I don't care what
Yeah.
your reality looks like. You know, at the beginning of this year, for one, be really transparent. I was searching for another part-time job because I knew I couldn't work full-time. I had to dedicate more time to my business. But the very
Mm-hmm.
last January, my bank account was under $50. Okay. But if you're
Mm-hmm.
looking from like, social media, like, oh, she has a business, she graduated to college, she has all this, but everything's not always perfect, It's like always remember, like, stay true to yourself and don't let the hype like, bother you. So, don't
Girl,
you gotta
yeah.
out boundaries when it comes to social media. Like even if you see something that's like, oh, that's nice and can be able to keep moving on. Like don't let it like distort your reality.
Okay, girl, preach. That was a word. I hope y'all heard that and got that because that was a word. And you said you did write a blog about that, right? I'm gonna make sure that you drop your website as soon as we get finished. So what's I see you got the Pitt shirt on for all those who don't know University of Pittsburgh. I went there too. You know what I'm
Woo-hoo!
saying? I
Hell to
did get a
pick.
chance to attend that university. Um, so your degree is in what?
So my degree is in rehabilitation science. People are always like, what is that? I mainly chose that degree just because long term I'm going to school to be a physician assistant, and I'm actually going back to Pitt in January 2023 for the physician
Okay, woo,
assistant. Girl, thank you, girl. I just chose
woo.
that major because I wanted to avoid the harder science classes, if you put it that way.
Look, I'm not even mad at it. I'm not mad at it. You hear me? I'm not mad at it.
People like under that major can like be a physical therapist, counselor. It's very broad. I just like again chose that for the easy route. But just even to kind of backtrack, like I've always been one to be interested in healthcare, and again, it's like going back
Mhm,
to being a others. I knew I always wanted to work in healthcare like long term. So I think just even
mhm.
like for future like me now, like having like the background in healthcare and like mental health, it's like it kind of goes hand in hand. Yeah.
Mhm. Girl, now let me tell you something. You doing it, okay? So now, what kind of services? Let's go ahead and talk about your business for a little bit. What kind of services do you currently offer? And while she talks about that, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up her website. So, oh, can't see it. I forgot. All right, so um, go ahead and explain what kind of services you offer and what does your coaching entail and stuff like that. How you can go from point A to point Z with you.
Yeah, so I offer health and wellness coaching services. I started back in 2021 So I've been coaching for a year now.
Mm-hmm.
But work me as your wellness coach, I would say I do a lot of more so like, mindset changes or like healthy lifestyle changes. But just to give
Mm-hmm.
an example, like at every initial appointment, I have someone set a wellness vision. And depending on how long they see me, whether it's like a 3-month basis, 6-month basis, 12 months, that's like their big picture, like, for me, like, where do you want to see yourself in like, the next 3 months? And then we actively work like, week by week or bi-weekly to getting them to complete goals that will set them up for the future. But ultimately, like, I help people make changes. And I always say not all of my clients come to me and like, the action stage of like ready to make change. Some people are kind of contemplating. So like they want to make the change, but they're not sure. So even if we brainstorm, like, all right, like what do you want to get done? And then we go from there. Just to give an example, like I had a client who wanted to start eating healthier, but she ate out a lot. She had 2 kids. And so I'm like, well, like obviously when it comes to like setting goals, you don't want to just leap into it ASAP. Like, it takes time. So like we went from 1 week to like, buying fast food twice a week. Then we
Mm-hmm.
decreased it down to one. But then we're also thinking about, well, what meals can you make? What do you like to eat? Because you want to make sure you're including like, some type of protein, vegetable, all that good stuff. And then it's also, I guess, analyze like, what does this goal mean to you? I tell my clients, I'm not here to make the goals for you. I'm here to assist you in making the goals. And I want
Okay.
to, yeah, I want to help you become the best version of yourself. So, like, what does that look like?
Mm. So a lot of self-reflections going on around here is what you're saying.
For sure. Like, and as a coach, like, I hold my clients accountable. Like, I don't ever judge them if they don't complete a goal for the week or whatever, because it's not for me, it's for them. But just having them like,
Mm-hmm.
evaluate, like, all right, like if you didn't get it done, what happened and how do you think you want to change it like for moving forward. But anyone who has worked with me has to like have helped them make changes, change their mindset for just like in a better to be like in a better mind space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. It's the accountability part for me because you can't get nowhere unless you hold yourself accountable. All right, so that's just how I feel about the whole thing. So now we are getting close to the wire. I want to make sure that you get all your contact information out there. So go ahead and tell everybody where they can reach you, how they can reach you, what platforms are best to reach you on, email, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so we'll start with personal first. If you want to contact me personally, my Instagram is _G0DS, the word gift and the number 6. So that's _God's gift 6. Again, it's a 0 after God, not an O. People are always like, I can't find you. A 0.
Right.
God's gift is already taken. So that's Instagram. On Facebook, it's my name, Aijalon Brown. That's AIJALON, and Brown is in the color. And fun fact, my name means God's gift. So that's why that's my Instagram.
Oh, yes.
There we go. In terms of business, the Social Butterfly Experience is one long name on Instagram.
Name.
Includes the word the. So it's the Social Butterfly Experience. And we have like black logo. You won't be able to not recognize. And same deal for Facebook as well, the Social Butterfly Experience. I would say the easiest way to find both of them, if you go to our website, it's the socialbutterflyexperience.com. Both Instagram and Facebook are linked on my website, so you can easily access the website and just put, again, the socialbutterflyexperience.com. And then
Okay,
email,
awesome.
email is the socialbutterfly@gmail.com.
Okay, say it one more time just in case it cut off. You said what?
The email is the socialbutterfly.
Okay. All right. And for those who couldn't hear that, I'm gonna make sure that all her contact information is in the description bar below. Ms. Brown, I just want to thank you so much for joining me on today. You have been a blessing, and I hope people who have heard you, you will be a blessing to them as well. Whether they just read your blogs and receive an epiphany, or if they reach out to you and talk to you and get your services as well. So I definitely want you to stay blessed and keep doing what you're doing, because we definitely need you out here in this world. For everybody else, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at the end of the day. And if you want to be on the next episode of Boss Talk, you want to be on the next episode of Boss Talk, make sure you hit me up using all the contact information below in the description bar. And if you want to sponsor my next episode, the same contact information applies. Hit me up and I'll be happy to work with you. Other than that, y'all stay blessed and I will see y'all on the next episode of Boss